Hello everyone, I'm Raki and in this session I'm going to discuss with you the question number 27 and it's on page number 94 of chapter number 3, classification of elements and periodicity in properties. So let's see what the question is all about. So the question is, use the periodic table. Please सबसे पहले अपनी periodic table अपने पास रख लीजिए. Open your books if you don't have the periodic table in your hand and just see and have a look on the periodic table. तो सबसे पहले काम है इस क्वेश्चन को जैसे ही मैंने पढ़ा मैंने आपको बताया कि you need to use the periodic table. तो फटाफट से अपनी periodic table खोल लीजिए. Fine. So use the periodic table to answer the following questions. Number A question. Identify an element with 5 electrons in the outer subshell. So, using the periodic table, I have to, or according to the question, we have to identify the element with 5 electrons in the outer subshell. तो ऐसा हमें एलिमेंट ढूंढना है जिसके outermost subshell के अंदर there are 5 electrons. ठीक है. So अब अगर मैं कहना चाहूंगा periodic table के अकॉर्डिंग देखें तो the element which is having 5 electrons in the outermost subshell would be having the electronic configuration ns2 and np5. ns2 and np5, and this electronic configuration belongs to the family of halogen. That means halogen family. That means group 17 elements. फाइन. तो अब आप देखिए ग्रुप 17 एलिमेंट्स जो होते हैं उनका जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन होता है उसकी जो आउटरमोस्ट सबशेल होती है उसमें 5 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होते हैं ns2 np5. So it belongs to halogen family. So the element belongs to halogen family. Fine. So the electronic configuration of an element having 5 electrons in its outermost subshell should be ns2 np5. This is the electronic configuration of the halogen group. Thus, the element can be fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and Ag. Alright, fine. Coming to the second part of the question, identify an element that would tend to lose 2 electrons. So, using the periodic table, we need to identify an element which will be losing 2 electrons. So, ऐसा कौन सा एलिमेंट है जो इजीली अपने 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को लूज कर देगा? सी ऐसा वही एलिमेंट होगा जिसके वैलेंस व्हाट वी से शेल के अंदर 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होंगे. दैट मीन्स इन द आउटरमोस्ट शेल द एलिमेंट विल बी हैविंग 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. क्योंकि अगर उसमें 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होंगे तो इजीली उन 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को लूज कर देगा टू अटेन द स्टेबल नोबल गैस कॉन्फिगरेशन. फाइन. सो एन एलिमेंट हैविंग 2 वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, एक एलिमेंट जिसके पास 2 वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन होंगे will lose 2 electrons easily to attain the stable noble gas configuration. ठीक है, क्योंकि उसके पास 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है उनको लूज कर देगा तो obviously it will come to the stable noble gas configuration state. The general electronic configuration of such an element will be ns2. ठीक है, this is the electronic configuration of group 2 elements. ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन है ns2 वो किसकी है? ग्रुप 2 एलिमेंट्स की है. प्रेजेंट इन ग्रुप 2 and the elements which are present in the group 2 are beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium and barium. So these are the elements which are having or which will tend to lose 2 electrons easily. ठीक है, that means the elements which that would tend to lose 2 electrons would be beryllium, calcium, magnesium, strontium, barium. Fine. Coming to the third part of the question, identify an element that would tend to gain 2 electrons. देखिए ऐसा एलिमेंट जो 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को गेन करेगा दैट मीन्स उसका जो आउटरमोस्ट सबशेल होगा या वैलेंस सबशेल होगा उसमें 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स प्रेजेंट होने चाहिए. बिकॉज 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स अगर प्रेजेंट होंगे तो उसको स्टेबल नोबल गैस कॉन्फिगरेशन अटेन करने के लिए सिर्फ 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स ही गेन करने पड़ेंगे. ठीक है, दैट मीन्स द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फिगरेशन ऑफ द एलिमेंट वुड बी ns2 np4. That means 6 electrons must be present in the valence shell of that element. And the electronic configuration ns2 np4 belongs to which family? Oxygen family. ठीक है, तो ऑक्सीजन फैमिली में जो एलिमेंट्स हैं these are those elements which require just 2 electrons to attain the stable noble gas configuration. Fine. So an element which have a tendency to accept 2 electrons must have 6 electrons in the valence shell. Therefore, their general electronic configuration is ns2 np4. This electronic configuration is characteristic of group 16, elements and their examples are oxygen and sulfur. So now moving on to the last part of the question, that means D part of the question. So moving on to the next part of the question. Question is identify the group having metal, non-metal, liquid as well as gas at room temperature. So using the periodic table, we need to find or we need to identify the group which is having metal, which is having non-metal, which is liquid, as well as gas at room temperature. So a metal which is liquid at room temperature is mercury. It is a transition metal and it belongs to group 12. Secondly, a non-metal which is a gas at room temperature. A non-metal which is a gas at room temperature is hydrogen, which belongs to group 1, nitrogen belonging to group 15, oxygen belonging to group 16, fluorine and chlorine which belongs to group 17, and inert gases which belongs to group 18. Fine. And a non-metal which is liquid at room temperature is bromine and which belongs to group 17. So this was all about the question. I have discussed all the 4 parts of the question and I don't feel there would be any doubt regarding the solutions which I have given regarding these questions. But if anybody is having any kind of doubt regarding anything which I have told or explained over here, then please do ask your doubts in the space mentioned below. Well, do not forget to watch the next video for the next question of this chapter and do subscribe us. Till then, take care and goodbye.